Why do you feel like you're falling behind, even when you're trying? Like everyone else is becoming that guy, and you're just watching it happen. Same 24 hours, same opportunities, same internet, but somehow they're leveling up, and you're stuck in the same place. Same habits, same excuses, same version of yourself. And the worst part? You know it. You can feel it. That quiet voice in your head that says, "This isn't who I'm supposed to be." Sit with that for a second. Because most people don't. They distract themselves, scroll, watch, escape. Anything to avoid that uncomfortable truth. But you didn't click this by accident. Something in you already knows. Something in you is tired of being average. Tired of starting and stopping. Tired of knowing what to do, but not doing it. Be honest. Does that feel familiar? Because here's the truth nobody says out loud. You're not confused. You're avoiding. Yeah, that hits a little different. You already know what that guy looks like. Disciplined, focused, consistent, in control. You've seen it. You've imagined it. Maybe you've even tried it for a few days. And then something happens. You slip. You miss one day, then two. Then suddenly, you're back to square one. And you tell yourself, "I'll start again on Monday." Funny how life always gets reset on Mondays, right? But this is where things change. Because the problem isn't that you don't know what to do. The problem is, you don't trust yourself to do it. Read that again. You don't trust yourself. Because every time you said, "I'll wake up early," you didn't. Every time you said, "I'll stay consistent," you didn't. Every time you said, "This time is different," it wasn't. So now, even when you feel motivated, there's this quiet doubt in the background. Yeah, but how long will this last? And that doubt, it kills everything before it even begins. Now here's where it gets real. Becoming that guy has nothing to do with motivation. Nothing. Motivation is just a spark, and sparks don't last. Identity does. But right now, your identity is working against you. You don't see yourself as someone who finishes things. You don't see yourself as disciplined. You see yourself as someone who tries. And trying feels good, because it gives you an excuse. I tried. I almost did it. I was close. But close doesn't change your life. Execution does. And that's the uncomfortable shift. Because now, it's not about learning more. It's not about watching another video. It's about becoming someone who follows through. And that's where resistance kicks in. Hard. Because your brain hates change. It wants comfort, familiar patterns, easy dopamine. That late night scrolling, that just one more video, that I'll start tomorrow. It feels harmless, but it's not. It's training you to quit. Slowly, silently, every single day. So the question is, why do we keep doing this, even when we know better? Hold that thought. Because the answer isn't what you think. Most people believe they lack discipline. That's the story they tell themselves. I'm just not disciplined. I don't have willpower. But that's not true. You are disciplined, just not in the direction you want. You're disciplined at checking your phone, disciplined at procrastinating, disciplined at staying in your comfort zone. See the difference? Discipline isn't something you don't have. It's something you're misusing. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Now everything becomes a choice. Every action, every habit, every excuse. You're either reinforcing the old version of yourself or building the new one. There's no neutral. And that's when it hits you. This isn't about becoming that guy. It's about stopping the behaviors that keep you from becoming him. But here's the part nobody tells you. It's going to feel uncomfortable. A lot. Because growth always does. You're literally rewiring who you are, and your mind will fight back. It'll say things like, "This is too much. You deserve a break. You can start tomorrow." And it sounds reasonable, logical even. But it's a trap. Because tomorrow never actually comes. So if you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Now think about this for a second. Which one are you right now? Stuck or starting? Don't answer out loud. Just be honest with yourself. Because that answer, that's your reality, at least for now. But this is where things begin to shift. Not when everything is perfect, not when you feel motivated, but when you decide, "I'm done being this version of me." Not someday, not next week, now. Because the gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't knowledge. It's action. Repeated. Daily. Uncomfortable action. And yeah, that sounds simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. Because the moment you try to change, you'll feel resistance, doubt, laziness, excuses. That's normal. That's part of the process. And this next part, this changes everything. Because once you understand this, you'll stop relying on motivation forever. And you'll finally start becoming that guy.
And this is the moment where everything either changes or stays exactly the same. Because now you know. You see the patterns. You understand the gap. You feel the truth. So the question isn't, what should I do? You already know that. The real question is, will you actually do it? Because this is where most people fall off, not at the beginning, not when they're confused, but right here, at the edge of change, where action is required, where excuses don't work anymore, where it's just you and your decisions. Now here's the part nobody warns you about. Becoming that guy isn't exciting. Not most of the time. It's repetitive, predictable, sometimes even boring. Wake up, do the work, stay consistent, repeat. There's no constant adrenaline, no daily motivation speeches, just quiet discipline, day after day. And that's why most people quit, because they're chasing a feeling, not a standard. They want to feel inspired. They want to feel driven. They want it to feel good. But growth doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels frustrating, slow, unrewarding, like nothing is changing. And that's the test. Can you keep going, even when it doesn't feel like it's working? Because that's where transformation actually happens. Not when you're excited, but when you're consistent without excitement. Now think about this. How many times have you started something and quit because you didn't see results fast enough?
Be honest. Because that pattern, it's been running your life. Start, stop. Start again, stop again. And every time you stop, you reset your progress. You lose momentum. You go back to zero. And starting again, it always feels harder. So this time, you don't stop. Simple. Not easy, but simple. You remove that option completely. No more, I'll take a break. No more, I'll restart later. You keep going. Even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if it's not perfect. Because perfection is just another excuse to delay action. Now here's a quiet truth. The version of you that you admire, he's not doing anything extraordinary. He's just doing the ordinary, consistently. That's it. No secrets, no shortcuts, just repetition. At a level most people aren't willing to commit to. And that's why he stands out. Not because he's special, but because he's consistent. Now let me ask you something. If you did the right things every day for the next 6 months, who would you become? Don't overthink it, just imagine it. Because that version of you, it's not far away. It's just buried under inconsistency, under hesitation, under excuses. Remove those, and you don't have to chase anything. You become it, naturally. But here's the catch. You have to decide, fully, not halfway. Not, I'll try. Not, let's see what happens. No, you decide, this is who I am now. And then you back it up with action, daily. Because identity isn't what you say, it's what you repeat. And repetition is in your control. Right now, not later, not when you feel ready. Now. So here it is, the truth you've been avoiding. You don't need more time. You don't need more information. You don't need to figure yourself out. You need to act consistently, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Because that discomfort, that's the signal. That's the direction. That's the path to becoming that guy. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't fall back into old patterns. You've done that enough already. Instead, take one action right after this. Something small, something simple, but something real. And then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, until it's not a decision anymore. It's just who you are. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll wake up and you won't be chasing that guy anymore. You'll be him. If this hits something real in you, don't ignore it. Stay with it and start moving. Because your life doesn't change when you feel ready. It changes when you decide and follow through.